For some, charity is just a word that makes you feel good, doesn't it? It brings to mind images of volunteers ladling soup in a homeless shelter, or maybe a bake sale raising money for new library books. We think of it as pure, selfless, and driven by the simple desire to help others. When you drop a few dollars into a donation bucket, you get that little spark of satisfaction. You did a good thing. You helped. It's a straightforward transaction of kindness, a small act that ripples out to make the world just a tiny bit better. This is the version of charity we all know and love, the one taught in schools and celebrated on telethons. This popular idea of giving is powerful. It's built on the foundation of empathy and community support. You see a problem, you feel a connection, and you contribute what you can to be part of the solution. It's a fundamentally human impulse. We're told that every little bit helps, and in many cases, it absolutely does. That $5 donation can buy a meal, and that $20 contribution can provide school supplies for a child. This is the charity of the masses, the collective effort of millions of people chipping in to support causes they believe in. It feels honest, direct, and most importantly, altruistic. It's what we picture when we hear the word. But what if I told you that for a certain group of people, this isn't the whole story? What if, for the ultra-wealthy, charity operates on a completely different level? Imagine a world where giving away money is one of the most effective ways to actually make more money. It sounds completely backward, like a financial paradox. How could giving something away possibly result in having more of it? It's a concept so counterintuitive that most of us would dismiss it as impossible. For the average person, giving means having less in your bank account, not more. It's a sacrifice, however small, made for a greater good. This is where the story splits into two very different paths. There's the charity for you and me, and then there's the charity for them. For the richest people on the planet, philanthropy isn't just about helping. It's a sophisticated financial tool. It's a meticulously crafted strategy, a secret playbook that allows them to protect their fortunes, grow their investments, and polish their public image, all under the admirable guise of generosity. This isn't about simple kindness, it's about complex, calculated moves that turn giving into gaining. And tonight, we're going to pull back the curtain on that playbook. Let's be clear. This isn't to say that wealthy individuals don't care about the causes they support. Many of them are genuinely passionate about curing diseases, funding the arts, or fighting climate change. The human desire to do good doesn't magically disappear when your bank account hits 10 figures. But at that level of wealth, nothing is ever simple. When you're dealing with billions of dollars, every single financial decision is scrutinized, optimized, and strategized. And charity is no exception. It's not just an emotional act, it becomes a critical component of a much larger wealth management machine. It's a gear in a very complex, very expensive clock. For the super rich, a donation is rarely just a donation, it's a chess move. It's a way to legally and brilliantly navigate a labyrinth of tax laws that seem almost designed for them. While you might get a small tax deduction for your $20 gift, a billionaire can use a multi-million-dollar donation to shield a massive portion of their income from the taxman. This isn't a loophole, it's a feature of the system. The government actively encourages this behavior by offering huge financial incentives for the wealthy to give their money away. The bigger the donation, the bigger the tax break, creating a powerful motivation to engage in philanthropy on a grand scale. Think of it like this: they have a choice. They can either hand over a huge chunk of their fortune to the government in taxes, where they have no say in how it's spent, or they can donate it to a cause of their choosing, often a foundation they themselves control, and get a massive tax write-off in the process. Suddenly they are not just taxpayers, they are philanthropists. They get to decide which problems get solved, which institutions get funded, and which legacies get built. They maintain control over their money while receiving public praise and a significant financial reward. It's the ultimate win-win scenario, but only if you're the one writing the check. This transforms the very nature of giving. It's no longer just about generosity, it's about asset allocation and strategic financial planning. Philanthropy becomes a tool for preserving dynastic wealth, for influencing public policy, and for building a brand. The warm, fuzzy feeling is still there, but it's accompanied by the cold, hard calculations of an accountant and an investment advisor. The rich have figured out how to turn the act of giving into one of the most powerful and tax-efficient ways to maintain and even expand their immense fortunes. It's a brilliant strategy, hidden in plain sight, and it's time we all understood exactly how it works. So how does this magic trick actually work? How do you give away millions and end up richer, or at least not significantly poorer? The secret lies in understanding that giving doesn't always mean the money is gone forever. Often, it's just been moved. The most common vehicle for this is the private foundation or a donor-advised fund or DAF. A wealthy individual can donate assets like stocks, real estate, or art to their own foundation. The moment they do, they can claim a massive tax deduction on the full market value of that asset. This immediately reduces their tax bill for the year, sometimes by millions. Here's the brilliant part. The asset they just donated is now sitting inside their foundation, which they control. They didn't have to sell the stock and pay capital gains taxes on it first. No, they donated it directly, bypassing that tax entirely. Now the foundation can sell the stock tax-free and invest the proceeds. That money can then grow, also tax-free, inside the foundation. They are legally required to give away a small percentage each year, about 5%, but the other 95% can stay invested, generating more wealth under their direction. They got the tax break, avoided capital gains, and still control the money. This effectively turns a charitable foundation into a personal, tax-free hedge fund. The founder and their family can sit on the board, draw salaries, and direct the investments. They can use the foundation's money to invest in ventures that align with their business interests, a practice known as mission-related investing. For example, a tech billionaires foundation might invest in promising tech startups. If those startups succeed, the foundation's endowment grows, giving them even more money and influence to play with. The line between charity and savvy investing becomes incredibly blurry, almost non-existent. It's a perpetual motion machine of wealth preservation. This isn't an accident, it's the system working as intended. It's a playbook written into the tax code, available to anyone with enough wealth to take advantage of it. It redefines philanthropy from a simple act of giving to a complex, multi-generational strategy for financial domination. The public sees a generous donation and a building with a new name on it. What they don't see is the intricate web of tax advantages, investment growth, and retained control happening just behind the curtain. It's less about giving money away, and more about repositioning it for maximum benefit, and that right there is the secret we need to unpack. So let's get into the nuts and bolts of this whole operation. Why is the US government so keen on giving the rich a financial high five for their charitable donations? The idea, on paper, is actually quite noble. The government knows it can't solve every problem. It can't fund every museum, save every endangered species, or research every rare disease. So, it essentially outsources some of this work to the private sector. It tells its wealthiest citizens, hey, if you help fund these good causes, we'll give you a break on your taxes. It's supposed to be a partnership, a way to encourage private money to flow toward public good. This encouragement comes in the form of the charitable tax deduction. It's one of the oldest and most beloved features of the US tax code, dating back over a century. The logic is simple. When you donate to a qualified charity, the government lets you subtract that amount from your taxable income. If you make $100,000 and donate $10,000, you only have to pay taxes on $90,000. This reduces your overall tax bill, making the donation technically cheaper for you. The government is essentially subsidizing your generosity. It's their way of saying thank you for shouldering a burden that might otherwise fall on them. This system creates a powerful incentive structure. The more you earn and the higher your tax bracket, the more valuable a deduction becomes. For someone in a low tax bracket, a $100 deduction might only save them $10 or $12 in taxes. But for a billionaire in the top tax bracket, that same $100 deduction could save them $37 or more. The government's subsidy becomes much larger for the rich. This isn't some shady loophole. It's the basic math of a progressive tax system combined with a universal deduction. The law is designed this way, actively rewarding the wealthiest members of society more for the exact same act of giving. As a result, the entire concept of charity gets woven into the fabric of high-level financial planning. It's no longer just a question of how much can I afford to give, but rather, how can I strategically give to maximize my tax benefit? Financial advisors for the wealthy don't just manage investments, they are masters of philanthropic strategy. They know the tax code inside and out, and they use it to turn their clients' generosity into a powerful tool for wealth preservation. The government holds the door open, offers a golden handshake, and the rich, quite sensibly, walk right through it into a world of tax-advantaged giving.